I guess it's just me and a handful of people just wondering, where's the individual that reported the car stolen? Where they at? Oh, I hate to say this, but do we have ourselves another young scooter situation?
This is the most disgusting press conference I have ever seen put on by an attorney.
I'm not saying I would have done what Rodney Hinton done, but I understand. What kind of rage do you think a parent would feel? I would not have done that, but I understand.
Supportive of at least a full review and so forth of what happened?
I am leaning into the 3 concurrent investigations that are going. We have 3 in this city. So we have CCA, we have the prosecutor, and we have internal. So we're leaning into those. We're waiting to see preliminary review of the video footage. We're looking at all of that. It's all
sick and tired of being sick and tired.
So Rodney Hinton Jr., whose son was erased by police, was denied bond for erasing the sheriff deputy after there was a court disturbance. Here's some footage from the disturbance.
Guys, let me stop the video right there. You know I love you, so let me say this. If your job is not secure, please do not continue to watch this video, or please do not post anything in support of the people who are involved in this case. People are literally losing their jobs, aka their livelihood, over this. Watch this.
Well, I was fired from work yesterday because of the Rodney Hinton situation. The young man, son was found alive by the Cincinnati Police Department. So this what happened. While I was on break, right, I heard a supervisor spoke along our colleagues, because we work along with K9, we also work along with NYPD. He was talking about the Rodney Hinton situation. He said, well, y'all people have to understand. And I'm like, excuse me, y'all people? Well, you know what I mean. I said, no, I don't know what you mean. If you want to get technical, a man innocent proven guilty. A charge doesn't mean the man was prosecuted. It's just a charge. He said, go to break, go to break, go to break. And I said, I'm already on break. Make a long story short, he called his account manager, and the account manager said I was removed from the schedule. So that's how I got fired from my job.
So my job fired me today. I got fired today because they seen my post and they seen that I was standing with Rodney Hinton Jr. Volkswagen fired me because they said that goes against the company's policy. So the company has a policy where they can look at your social media, and if they don't agree with your post that you make on social media, they can let you go. I've been with this company for a minute now. I've been with them for over 5 years, but they decided to fire me because of my views on the Rodney Hinton Jr. situation that I made online, and you know, it done accumulated me so many views, and I don't feel like that this is right. I don't feel like a company should be able to look at your social media posts and fire you, but Volkswagen fired me today because of my social media posts. If anybody's ever went through that or had to go through that with a company, let me know. I don't know what to do now. I know I gotta go get another job. But if you out here and you making these contents and you standing with these people and you planning on being a part of it, just know that there's stuff that's gonna come back behind this.
He started stuttering, so I hope that this is true. I believe him. I truly believe him because he mentioned the company's name and all that. But listen, freedom of speech ain't free. I'm already struggling, already begging for likes and support. So, guys, please protect yourself because Valerie Denise Jones can't come to the rescue. I'll do what I can. All right, so on a serious note, I have a few more things I'd like to share with you guys. The community is divided, and it really truly breaks my heart why people do not understand why, right? But anyway, all of this reminded me of an old interview that we did with Fred Hampton Jr. He was on the Joshua Brown show, and yeah, I remember quite a few things that he said, and it resonates now. And I'd like to share that with you, so please wait until the end to preview that.
He didn't care. Y'all can say it was the right cop, it was the wrong cop. He fit the description, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way he saw it. His son was took from him the day before. after an altercation with the police department in Cincinnati. And he didn't care. All that man knew was that he lost his son. Everything that he had been through the past 18 years with that poor boy, regardless of the situation where he stole a car, he had a pew-pew, whatever it may be. Y'all are looking at it all wrong. Y'all try to blame the parents for raising a bad child. Is your child perfect? Nope. I guarantee you, you might think they're perfect, but they're playing you like a fiddle. Them kids, they're going out and they're experiencing their own thing out in the world. I can guarantee you that. They're doing their own thing. They don't care. And he lost his son. In pure anger, he took it and done something terrible. He will live down the consequences of that. He will do his time. But it does not matter. He thought he was right. Prayers go out to that family and all of the prayers to the family of all the officers involved.
I really respect how the officer in the elevator positioned himself. He faced them directly, clearly on alert, as if to say, I'm watching you. That's a sad reality we live in. What's even more disturbing is that we keep seeing Rodney face all over the media, but we never once seen the face of the officer who took his son's life. Correct me if I'm wrong. Rodney is behind bars, and let's be real, he probably won't beat that charge. He didn't get justice the right way, and now he may never get justice.
This is a tragedy on every level, and honestly, it never would have happened if cops were actually held accountable. I'm not saying what Rodney did was right, but when people feel like the system won't give them justice, they try to get it themselves. 2 lives lost, 2 families destroyed, all because we refuse to fix a broken system.
Technically, under Marcy's law, there's no provision that allows us to release it at all. So we will see where this goes in the court system.
Marcy's law was put into place by Ohio voters in 2017, and it was intended to make sure victims of crimes was treated fairly. It was also put into place to ensure that victims of crimes was notified in a timely manner of any court proceedings. Attorney Jack Grinder sat down and spoke on this subject, and he says the public has a right to know in case this officer has a background of this same behavior.
Why is this problematic if cities and police departments end up redacting or not releasing the identity of police officers involved?
I think that the public is interested in, and I think has a right to know a little history of that police officer. Has he been disciplined previously for excessive?
This video is not designed to put anybody down, but just to get your opinion, because I don't have the answers. And obviously the good people who are in the system don't have the answers either. So we need each other. And until then, people are going to do one or two things because it hurts. It hurts. And it continues to happen.
I want my brother to see me. I just want my brother to see me. My brother can't see me.
Yeah, you know, humans aren't predictable, and you can't tell us how to act, you know, how to respond to certain things, right? And everybody ain't built for press conferences, especially not Actually, let the lead attorney explain it.
This is the most disgusting press conference I have ever seen put on by attorneys. The family of that 18-year-old held a press conference and it was absolutely horrible. I'm gonna break this down from an attorney's perspective who's practiced over 20 years. Let's get into it.
Thank you for coming out. My name is Michael Wright, Attorney Michael Wright. I'm gonna introduce Attorney Fanon Rucker, Attorney Robert Gresham, Attorney Anthony Pearson. I'm going to introduce...
Stop it right there. This attorney needs to be fired. Did you catch it? If I was part of this family, I would tell all of these attorneys to get out of my house. Did you see what just happened? I'm going to rewind it and let's see if you can pick up on what I spotted.
Thank you for coming out. My name is Michael Wright, Attorney Michael Wright. I'm going to introduce Attorney Fanon Rucker, Attorney Robert Gresham, Attorney Anthony Pearson. I'm going to introduce Mom, who is...
Look at him. What is this gentleman holding in his hand? It's a cheat sheet, guys. This attorney is in this nationally televised press conference, says he's going to introduce the mother of the slain teenager, and then has to look down at a piece of paper to remember her name. Listen to me when I tell you that this is a big case. These cases typically work on contingencies. This law firm is going to try to reach a quick settlement, and if they can't, they're going to file suit. The way we attorneys typically handle these situations is that we'll take a third of the compensation that you receive if we can settle the case before we have to file suit. If we have to file the complaint, then it goes up to 40%.
Of course, I can't play his entire video. His information is on the screen. So again, people are going to do one of two things. They're going to take the matter and put it in somebody else's hands. That may be good or bad, as the lead attorney stated, or they're going to take matters into their own hands.
Rodney Hinton Jr., who is accused of intentionally running Deputy Larry Henderson, filed this 5-page civil lawsuit on Thursday. He did so himself without an attorney. Hinton says his civil rights were violated. I looked through the complaint. The defendants include the Cincinnati Police Department, the Hamilton County Justice Center, and 10 unnamed officers and deputies. He also focused on this: Hamilton County deputies packing the room for his arraignment on May 3rd.
Good morning, Mr. Hinton.
Hinton claims that coordinated presence was, quote, clearly intended to intimidate. On Monday, protesters gathered on the steps of the Hamilton County Courthouse. We were there as the Black Panthers and other groups voiced support for Hinton.
We sick and tired of being sick and tired.
A lot of folks are tired of being sick and tired. And yes, you are reading the screen correctly. He is developing a huge fan base, and lots and lots and lots of money is being raised. Still no word as to whose vehicle it was or who called in to report, but the 3 friends who were with him, they're now on an extended vacation. Don't worry though, they got fans on the inside too.
I'm asking all the gangsters in the correctional facility, the United States of America, protect Rodney Hinton. And I know most of y'all will do anything if you see your family members in harm's way. And I know most of y'all are fathers. They try to destroy this man here. When this man went to court for his charges, his family was not allowed in the courts. His family was outside the courts, while he's surrounded by thousands of police officers.
Valerie, focus us back, and we are digressing.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
When I was in court one time on 51st Wentworth, it's a cat that's a known hit. He's a known hitter on the street. This dude, he's a fool on the street. When I walked up in that courtroom, he was sitting on his hands. He wouldn't even speak to me. I said, what's making this dude do this? Why is he silent for the lambs now? It's an arena that made him humble up. In order for our struggle, it's a certain dynamic that has been negated, that, you know what I'm saying, that they have to take this stuff seriously. It's an arrogance that comes because the black people are treated as the Rodney Dangerfields of all races. When they go to the Mexicano community, you drop off in Mexico tonight. Anybody up in Mexico tonight, it's gonna be a humbling day. Hold on, man, I'm gonna shut up. I'm not gonna say. When it comes to black folks, oh man, Black Lives Matter, that's the same thing. Occupy same. They start. It's an arrogance. It's not questioning. It's a cockiness. So people have to be humbled up. If certain situations have to happen, so we able to penetrate it. Now I got your ear, don't I? Now I got your ear. You know what I'm saying? People say, how many members do you have a chairman? I say, depends on how many people police kill. They say, huh? I say, depends on how many people police kill. There's certain people that come to me at the police. Oh, I hear what you're saying now. Before that, oh, we got to vote our way out of this here. We got to block. I said, okay, I'll get back to you. When I talk to them rappers, I said, wait a minute, wait till you fighting the case. It's certain conditions have to, other than that, whatever we say to them, it's going through one ear after the other ear. So certain and the conditions are coming. We welcome the conditions. Nixon, I got a saying, niggas needed Nixon. When Kennedy was office, they couldn't hear certain stuff. Nixon came through, campaign for law and order, kicked the doors in. It forced them. They started saying, hold on, man. You know how many groups there was out there? The COINTEL, who was saying over 90% of the COINTEL force is the Black Panther Party. They was identified. It was clear. So all I'm saying is, it's people that grew up with me. They no humbleness, they come with an arrogance. So they got to starve a little bit. They got to appreciate and respect the distinguishment. What this dynamic is, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people they don't want to learn. They coming in. It's not a question. It's a position. They look for weak spots. You know what I'm saying? And again, police come through. They're not saying the young lady said the other day on the news the other day. She told. Now, she's been with these different white groups protesting. These are children. These children are confused. They confused about everything. They confused. This particular group of children. But that child, you know what she said? She said on the news conference, she said, how is it that 80%, it was more white people out there with us protesting, who she said, I was with them, and it's the majority of us that's black that got locked up. She said, Mayor Lightfoot, the girl said, I'm black. She said she's black, and she said she's gay. But she said not the gay people, the black people got locked up. It took that situation for her to say, before then, a week ago, she would say, oh yeah, it's really about, now she getting some one-on-one classes in race relations. And you know what, I'm gonna say this in closing. In the 60s, you know what that generation did? My mother told her auntie, you know what them people told their parents? We love you, all due respect. We ain't cut no corners. I got a young brother told me, he said, man, I'm upset with my father for nothing. They gonna have to raise up.
Blessings.
All right. One more
Well,
time on the airwaves. Hello, young man.
All right now.
Hello,
Chairman. How are you doing? Is Chairman part of your name, sir?
Yeah, it's actually I'm honored to have my official title. It became one of the same as my name. Until I'm voted out of that office.
Well, that's your title. How did you get the title? Just explain. I knew. I met your father years ago. He was a teenager when I met him. I recruited Bunchy Carter, who was chairman of the Panther Party in Southern California, John Hudgens, Minister of Propaganda, Geronimo Pratt, Elaine Brown, Nathaniel Clark. And I knew before that Shermont Banks, who was the chair of the party in the LA area. So I was just wondering, I take it that the party they've got the new Panther Party now? Is that correct?
No, that's a different dynamic. I'm the chairman of the Black Panther Party Cubs. As I said, the Cubs, yes, and not to be. I know some people hear that term. So does that mean that you're young? No, the deal is our mantra says a position is that we're the great grandchildren of Garvey, the offspring of Malcolm, and the ideological Cubs of the Black Panther Party. As I said earlier in the introduction, it's a tough act to follow. We try our best to walk in not their footsteps, but their Panther Paul steps. It's an international organization. It was actually founded while I was held captive myself. I'm a former political prisoner. Which is the state gave me some trumped up charges right after the uprising of the Cincinnati Valley verdict by Rodney King, and it was found while I was held captive. I'm just going to restate some of the things I said earlier too, that we don't call it for the time warp, you know what I'm saying, but we look at that template, that prototype, and one of my major jobs is to make this in the fight to maintain the legacy of the Black Panther Party. In fact, we have support. We have forces in LA. Just left Oakland, our sister city. So some of the programs, again, we tend to walk and carry that spirit on. And
your enthusiasm is admirable. Let me ask you this: have you made contact with Elaine Brown?
Yeah, matter of fact, we had reached out to in regards to the actual campaign we're talking about now. We sent a call out to a number of different forces that was in the party about the campaign to stay in the Hampton House. So ironically, that the campaign I just spoke about, the State Hampton House, that was the last time we had reached out to many different forces. We had did a different event for the 50th anniversary of Black Panther Party in Oakland, in which she and others were at. I think they were at the time kind of conflict. We were at Laney College when the event for the 50th. We had seen her briefly there, and also she took her through a tour. Other people that was in the Black Panther Party took them through tours of the Hampton House, laying out the significance about how our position was, and it still remains how significant it is to save and maintain that place, and again, not in a subjective type of way, just about Chairman Fred, but that of the Black Panther Party, that's the legacy of our people.
All right, now may I ask you to do something out of respect? The Southern California chapter probably suffered more death from the responses of the Los Angeles Police Department and their SIS unit than any other part of the organization in the country. And there are a number of people who were slain doing what they did that probably need some historic recognition. Bungie Carter, John Hudgens, they need recognition. They should be recognized. The organizer Sherman Banks, who started off the party in the LA area, he needs recognition. He did not get killed. And some of that history should be put in there out of respect, I would just suggest. And you might contact Elaine Brown to find out a list of those who died trying to get effective change. Just saying.
Hey Judge, we ain't seen. I don't know. I just talked to Deputy Minister Defense Bunchy Carter's niece. We in constant contact. In fact, when I'm in LA, we've been at UCLA campus, the site where they were assassinated at. And again,
yeah, I was in the building and the location, and what happened is they were down in the cafeteria. They got killed by two gunmen and two accessories from the US organization at Ron Karenga. They went upstairs, kicked in the door of my office, and put 2 bullets in the back of my chair. That was 4 more. So there were actually 8 people out there that day. Elaine and I were coming down the staircase. We gathered up some weapons, and we arrived downstairs just as the 4 us members were running down the hallway. John fired 6 shots before he fell over dead, hit one of them in the back. Got in, and Bunchy Carter was face down, propped up on one elbow, moaning, and then he collapsed. And then we got Gwen Goodlow to get all of the artillery out of the building. But it was a tense time. So, yeah, I was in the building when that happened. That was Campbell Hall. It was in the cafeteria. They were going to demolish that building, but a coalition between black, brown, red, and yellow, we got that building saved and dedicated to minority affairs. And now they got a big building, the biggest on campus, Bunch Hall, named after Ralph Bunch, who was a black involved with the UN. But interestingly enough, the people involved with it now, they've all got white husbands or wives, and they don't understand what the devil was going along. And what does you kids use now? Boule? Yes, Boule.
I actually heard, I had checked the interview out that you did about this a while back. But let me also add this, Judge, about. I think we said to talk about this later on in the show. I don't want to jump the gun. And guys also about this this movie project they're talking about. Let me say this legacy. And I talk about the legacy of Chairman Fred and the Black Panther Party. By no means, I'm honored to be international chairman of this organization, and so. The legacy of the Panther Party. That we say legacy is more important than our life. There was, without giving too many details, there were fights. There was I had to step away from the discussion about the potential movie in regards to not just but the legacy of Deputy Minister Defense Bunchy Carter, the legacy of Minister that legacy, that prototype. You know what I'm saying? By no means when we said when we talk about the museum, that's the discussion about Chairman Fred is in that organization, which has been in so many cases under attack and still under attack. They're not only through bogus books, revisionist authors, attempts to do movies, state-made. We refer to as GMO organizations, government-made organizations. That, you know what I'm saying? It's still mind-blowing to me when I go different places and have a legacy of what type of snake oil is able to be sold in certain arenas about what the Black Panther Party was. You know, you say, well, what made the Black Panther Party unique? Was it because they had leather jackets? No, the Hells Angels had leather jackets. You know what I'm saying? They knew the law? No, a lot of cats knew the law. But that entity, you know what I'm saying? I fight so hard. We fight so hard for it because I spoke at the funeral service. We had the repast with Stanley Tookie Williams. I had left them. We did something in the community. Because, you know what I'm saying, in Lemur Park. You know, when I spoke there, Lemur Park, at the Tookie Williams funeral. I said, Tookie Williams, they grew up in the climate like similar to I grew up in. Deprived of an organization such as the Black Panther Party, and the only options in life was to become a Boy Scout or a banker. We commit Never again.
Well, Tookie Williams, let me stop you right there. Tookie Williams and I were acquainted. He, Cliff Stewart, and Ron Chappelle, we were all playground directors at Trinity Avenue Elementary School. And Tookie was a skinny little 12-year-old on the playground, along with another skinny 12-year-old, the late Barry White, the singer. So we tried to put some manhood in both of them. Apparently, we succeeded. We tried to get Tookie out of the hood, but his mama wouldn't let us get him out of the swamp, so he just became the baddest alligator in the swamp. Last person executed on California's death row, but he wrote 6 books for kids, and I found it interesting. Some of what I saw in his books or what me, Dr. Stewart, Dr. Chappelle now were trying to teach then. So it makes me feel good that our instruction took root, at least in part. But, you know, people are like that. So we had a thing going on. May I point something out? Who is this heavyset sister that travels all over the country? And every time the resurrected Panthers start doing something, she shows up, gets a bullhorn, and jumps in front of them and starts rambling off on stuff that's not inspirational or needed and ruining the effect. And they resent that greatly. I experienced that 2 or 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and the brothers were very disturbed about who this was. Somebody needs to put her in check. They had shut up, so they had the press. Everybody showed up to hear them. She ran her mouth off for an hour and a half after monopolizing the microphone. The press left, and the moment passed. And she had nothing to say. She bored the hell out of the audience. Half of them went to sleep. But she's been doing that. Who is that?
I'm not familiar, particularly. It's so many. They come a dime a dozen. The system, they raise up so many individuals. You know what I'm saying? The co-op to obliterate or malign the legacy of Black Panther Party. We work 24 hours a day. We had to go shut. We had to listen. They done tried to do judge. They done had innocent. You name it. They done had everything ranged from attempts to do movies. They wasn't authorized to these people. They in University of Chicago. They didn't have petri dishes. They didn't produce different people that was in the party, raise them up as spokespersons. We don't cut no corners with none of them. Until the Black Panther Party comes. They don't try to raise up family members. Bogus organizations. We come to see them. We done went down on movie sets. We don't went up on events. You know what I'm saying? Because that legacy is more important than our life. So they're damaging, and we created a climate where it's not just the Panther Party cubs, it's the community, the people. We hiding the contradiction. Like I said, in a lot of places, like a gardener, it's certain soil that they can sell that snake oil in. Once we hide, the deal, the opposition is hiding the contradictions. So the people came, you know what I'm saying? The people themselves, you know what I'm saying? They can see them individuals, whether they be directly on the payroll for the state or just, you know, it's just a bunch of reactionary individuals. So they are dime a dozen. But we say this Panther Party politics, we carry like garlic. It keeps the common cold away from the community. You know what I'm saying? So soon as they try to raise them up, I'll be all day name you list of individuals they done tried to raise up, the informers that are sent our organization, the attack, the slander campaign. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think they look at the COINTELPRO like in an abstract type of way. That's how bad it was back in the 60s. We correlate, we make that connection to what's going on right now. Because a lot of people, they wait till it's safe to talk about it. I use the analogy where they had Muhammad Ali on the Wheaties box in 1988. And the guy say, well, Ali was an extraordinary athlete back then. Why y'all put him on that now? And they say, because he's safe. This was before his physical death. The deal is we don't serve no cold meals. We give them to the, you know, so we give them to hot. We call a question on individuals. Even they don't try to bring people. They don't try to bring individuals that was in the party. You know what I'm saying? To rewrite that legacy. We don't cut no corners with none of them. Because again, I seen with that legacy. Again, it's more important than our life. When I talk about the continuing prison, the Imagine Lalamine, formerly known as H.R. Brown, Mumia Abu Jamal. I tell you, I ain't set tripping. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm on the ground in Leimert Park in L.A. We in the ground in Oakland, California, Detroit, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? I'm just based here in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? But again, I definitely Chairman Franco. It's facing in France, our France chapter, our deputy chairwoman in Brazil. You know what I'm saying? Cincinnati. So this stuff is, you know what I'm saying? It's going. Now a lot of people don't recognize what's going on because the Black Panther Party Cubs, we like the last call for alcohol. We the ones inside the bars and serving people all the time. But we don't. The state, the media don't put us up there. So a lot of cats that go to these different GMO organizations, one of that state sanctioned spokesperson. But when he get to the point, they say, man, who is that? The Cubs been here all the time. So check our resume. We honor to serve the people, but similar to that of the 60s. A lot of cats, you know what I'm saying, when it becomes fashionable, they bring these different athletes up out of the, you know what I'm saying, Beyonce do halftime. A lot of people are black when it's beneficial, play Panther when it's profitable, and claim to be connected to the Cubs when it's comfortable. We on this 24/7, consistent, nonstop.
Let me say this.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of co-optation going on, and there are a lot of people that want to claim involvement that weren't.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, so stay strong with what you're doing. I'm glad that you used the phrase, heighten the contradictions. Miss Valerie will tell you that I often say that, and I guess that's a carryover from the 60s, and I've been saying instead of going for the lesser of two evils, sometimes what you need to do is go for the option that heightens the contradiction so you can see what's actually going on. Like black folk running around here for a decade saying there's no problem. Why you got to be a dinosaur judge talking about racism and the things that are going wrong with the country when all of those things changed up? Said no. And then they got Trump in, he heightened the contradictions, and now they're whining and crying about racism and everything else, and they don't get the idea about reality. One of the things I keep trying to tell people is, look, infiltration is real. When you get the grandstanding and floor showing, you will find that if you had the ability to check it out, you would have a great number of your members who are infiltrators, snitches, agents, provocateurs, and you will have them as undercover cops and FBI agents, DEA and everything else, ATF, and you have to deal with that. And we got this thing we're talking about unity, and I keep telling people that unity just doesn't come because you want it or beg about it. You got to impose unity. And if you don't have unity, you don't have an organizational structure strong enough to unify behind. All you got is rhetoric.
Come on with it. Come on. Hey, let me jump in with you, Judge. Just tag team with you real quick on something.
Go ahead.
One, the initial point you brought up is we relate to combating liberalism. And just saying, let me correlate this back to the 60s, back to the Black Power movement of the 60s. There was a class piece during the tenure of John F. Kennedy, a class piece. Now, a minute if you say one of the most difficult jobs of being a revolutionary is to fight in the interest of the people, even when they don't know their own interests. So the Panther Party was consistent even when it was fashionable. So then, when Nixon pulled the covers up and said campaign for law and order, it forced a lot of cats, you know what I'm saying, to become quote unquote conscious. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have a lot of reactionary responses. That's not just some of the black community. That's the reality. Because people get involved in struggle one of three ways: inspiration, aspiration, or desperation. Like the Black Panther Party Club, we say he turned more than me black. He turns more than me black. Now that means is, you know what I'm saying, Michael Jackson might tell you one day it'll make a difference you black or white. When that case comes down, the song's gonna change. They don't care about us. I get letters from cats right now who locked up with 75 years. Oh, Chairman, what you saying right now? Yeah, no doubt about it. So the conditions are necessary. You know what I'm saying? With the vanguard, the leadership has to be even when it's not fashionable. And we can call it just like I was just even doing the Obama administration. Was that Obama was the coldest drugs in America dropped on blacks since crack. I'm gonna repeat it again. I can't speak kind of fast. Obama was the coldest drugs in America dropped on blacks since crack. You know what I'm saying?
You got me laughing, son. You got me laughing. You're exactly right.
When he was running for Senate in Illinois, that was us. That was the Black Panther up on that stage. When we went up on stage, we said Paul on there. That was always on the stage. When they brought them Russell Simmons and them brought them Pied Pipers in, trying to send people sleep, we said, "This is man. What's their position on political prisoners and African anti-terrorism bill?" Now, when I say political prisoners, I'm talking about the C numbers, Illinois. I'm talking about Sunday Adicody. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Rochelle C.Q. McGee. You know what I'm saying? We ain't sex tripping. This is international politics. We've been attacked internationally. So people say, "Oh man, y'all need to be cool. This is gonna be one of the first black senators." It's documented. We said we don't care if you're gonna be the first black Martian. If they ain't just
let me interrupt you for something. I told you I'd met your daddy when he was a teenager.
So
you sound like him in a way, but actually, to give you some kudos, you sound better than he did.
I get a humble myself because this is them Paul steps there. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, I'm honored to walk them Paul steps. You know what I'm saying?
I like it. I haven't heard this in 50 years, but you sound better than your daddy did.
In all due respect, Judge, we got a lot of times people say, "Well, man, this just happened. I ain't heard about it." Had an old accident go, if a tree falls in the forest, and somebody sit down here, doesn't make a sound. Of course, just because the deal is, it's an interview. Man, you go on YouTube and put an interview when I was in L.A. with Stevie Wonder about 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I got cases in L.A. After we've been getting down. So we say let's seize the time because it's your second. Again, we the last call for alcohol. It was so at the point, Judge, you had made. I want to touch on about the second thing you had said about about the structure. I'm glad you said that. This goes to your initial question about having the chairman. A lot of places, we had did an interview. I did an interview yesterday, and this sister, she couldn't see politics impacts your hearing and lack of hearing, your vision, all that. I say my genre that I represent of being a revolutionary. I say one unique dynamic of the Black Panther Party was the politics of it. He was chairman for it. That was dead Mr. Defense Bunchy College, not because the state sanctioned. A lot of organizations talk about, the white man, this white man, that, in theory. However, they go and practice, and, you know what I'm saying, and bow down to them Yankees. You know what I'm saying? See, that was us. We checked the report in Chicago that's in the newspaper for referencing Chairman Fred's widow as his girlfriend. See, that the Black Panther Party didn't say on Monday the state is attacking us. We don't value. We didn't go down there Tuesday. Excuse me, could you stop? It was consistent. The politics of the terms. I'm in Ireland. I'm in Ireland on a delegation for the Mumia Abu Jamal campaign. Yeah, Ireland. I'm in Ireland. So the Move family, we in Ireland. So get Ireland. So Bernadette Devons, the Irish Republican Army. She first come out. She said, "I remember seeing you as a child. A baby had like a chain, a bullet around your neck. And I remember y'all titles, y'all organization. That's Minister of Health, Ronald Doc Statue. It don't be no ego tripping, but that structure, that politic of it. And you know what I'm saying? And like I say, automatically, like you say, a rapper, you say, it's Puffy Combs, this Jay-Z. People respect that. Even the deal is, this is, I can tell, like, you know, this is some battles, you know what I'm saying, you had on the movie set. Let me be clear. I only was our consultant. I had to do a whole bunch of damage control in that movie set. This ain't no ragtag group, you know what I'm saying, a group of guys. This is a structured organization. People talking, well, I heard, was that your friend? We say turn like comrade. This is real talk. This is a
it was. So it was structured.
A lot of places, a lot of locations you go to, in my mind, the Panther Party was this. You can't sell that they call in Chicago. It's a structure here. One of America's policies is to create chaos and restore order. It's a definition for a Chevrolet. It's a definition for a Muslim. It's a definition for Black Panther Party. I'm in Denver, Colorado some years back speaking. So there's one cat, he's talking about, hey man, you know, they mean well, you know, all y'all should just come together. I said, okay. Some of the legacy of Black Panther Party. I said, okay, I'll be right back, bro. I'm finna go do my salats, my prayer. I'm gonna pray to the north. He said, whoa. I said, oh, are you offended? That's sacrilege, ain't it? He said, yeah. I said, my point exactly. When it comes to this legacy of the Black Panther Party, it's a structure to this here. And the Black Panther Party cause is carrying the legacy of the organization. Ain't anything but the soldiers out.
I like it. Okay, that's good. Now, I tell you what, I want to let you tell us what we need to hear. You got the platform. Run with it. And I'll come back in a little bit. I'm not going to interrupt you, but I haven't heard this in a long time. It's good hearing it. And like I said, you're putting it out there better than your daddy did.
I respect. The deal is, this, like I say, it's a climate. We in a stage in the game.
Okay, let me say this. I'm giving you a compliment. You're in your 50s, right?
I'm riding the fumes now. You know?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is unfortunately, your father was just at 20 when he was slain, but you've got 30 years worth of wisdom and experience to put on top of it. And too many of the leadership in America that was killed was under 40 when it happened, so they never got into their full manhood, maturity, or store of wisdom to input into what they had learned. So that's good. I am fond of saying on this forum that we haven't had a black political leader slain since your father, and that's been 50 years ago. And all of the rest of them were just playing thug stuff and rap and fitting into that crazy mantra of nonsense, entertainment, and distraction. All right? So go for it. You got the floor.
Judge, Chairman, give me 1 second because I just want to do a time check. That's the first thing I want to do with you, Chairman Hinton. I want to see how much time you've got. We've got 3 people who I definitely want to get in, bring in this conversation, and that would be Brother Bernard, of course, giving him a chance to have some dialogue with you guys. But also we got Maurice Duncan and Derek Muhammad, who I'm going to allow to chime in. But so you could tell me what kind of time you got available.
I was set for. I relate to Democratic Centralists, so I'm writing a note to my comrade right now, asking to get a little extension of time. You know what I'm saying? Because I think I'm doing it right now as we speak. So I think we're gonna be good for this. Let me know how much time y'all want to go with. I think we're good for a minute. We good.
All right, Mr. Chairman, you got it for a while. Right. Interact with these other guests that we have on today. I'm going to be listening. All right?
Yeah, so
Okay,
I want to at this time give you a chance to finish your thought and then just toss it.
All right.
Yeah.
Right on.
Toss it back to me to let me know when it's okay for me to open up the lines, okay? All right, so Chairman,
well, you know what?
Opportunity to speak.
I'm open. I work best that way. Interaction with the Chairman Fred would say, I feel the beat of the people. You know what I'm saying? And let me say this. Bring the callers in. Let me say this. I'm armed with a politic. We armed with a politic that does not force us into either or. You know what I'm saying? This, this is in regards to the legacy of Chairman Fred and the Black Panther Party. You know, like Sheikh Anta Diop talks about, like the society our people come from. It worked in, like it can work in. It's a matriarchal type of society. We can work in harmony with nature and the gender contradictions, the men and women. And acknowledge that there are contradictions. They don't necessarily have to be antagonistic. People talk about like different leadership in the Black Panther Party. Who was this person? This imperialism breeds a dynamic where it says something like, "Hey, this person, this comes at the expense of that." You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you can look in Kenya and Africa. We come from a society where an individual can ride the elephant and go where they're going, and the elephant can still exist. It doesn't have to be one at the expense of the other. My tree taller than your tree. You know, it's acknowledging contradictions. You know what I'm saying? It's taken into account. I see when we talk about Chairman Fred and Black Panther Party, it's important. This is another thing I just told on the movie section. You got a generation of cats they can't fathom. Some cats was organized without no cell phones, without no social media. So all these different dynamics got to be put in context. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the philosophical tool that we relate to is dialectical materialism, as opposed to just absolute. Like, okay, you got to put stuff in context. I said, like, it's what you mean by that, Champ. I said, okay, imagine some cat talking about they're in the Muslim community. They want to get a dowry for their wife, and they come up and they got some 3 horses and cattle. You gonna catch a case. You have to put stuff in context. You know what I'm saying? Different dynamics. Like even I'm real careful on how the criticism, even with certain generations coming up. A lot of these youngsters, like even when Judge just mentioned about the age range, it's a strategic war tactic. The time they lock us up. Like even these guys come out of prison, they 55, 60 years old. All these they get out. They have been taken away from the community at the time during their reproductive ages. And like I think it was on the tenure of George Bush Sr. And I think it was over 78% of the population in Iraq was under 17 years old. So here you had a whole generation of cats who had no frame of reference. What happened to them before? You know what I'm saying? And so now you're going to produce a bunch of reactionaries. You know what I'm saying? Like cool cats who just getting involved, and got no past example, you know what I'm saying, what's going on with folks. And you know, the term generation technically means 21 years. But when you're in the colonized community, you have to assess and adapt those definitions. So you got to, I mean, one time one of my comrades, he come on making reference to this young cat Boosie. He was saying he like Tupac. I said, hold on, man. That's a different cat. He grew up his era. What he got to work with? You know what I'm saying? He say, man, no. So I took him to Boosie directly. I said, now you see the different dynamics. You know what I'm saying? You get to understand what produces a pop. What makes a Nipsey Hussle? When I first met Nipsey Hussle, I'm backstage in Sacramento in the concert. So I'm at a distance. So I'm looking. I say, man, what kind of chain he got on? So this mind you, at this time, this when they pushing the whole thing, Kanye West on with the white Jesus with the go. So I said, whoa. I said, yo, this young brother got Malcolm X on his neck. So now I paused. I said, my man. I said, you familiar with Nipsey? I said, you familiar with Chairman Fred Hampton? This Nipsey Hussle. I'm saying, he tell me, he say Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. What type of man would I be if I knew who Chairman Fred was? This thing just come out no vacuum. You know what I'm saying? You look at the dynamics of his father. You know what I'm saying? His lineage, him going to Eritrea and experience that communalism. So a lot of cats they have no frame of reference of even seeing nothing like the Black Panther Party. So that's why certain places and certain generations they can sell certain snake oil to them. His legacy, when I talk about it, we ain't talking about don't subject away by Chairman Fred. This I seen with this is the brother up here in Chicago who named Big Law. Google his name, Lars Lee. The Chicago Sun-Times, this cat was assassinated. This young brother was the Black Disciple. Now, mind you, the history of the Black Disciples. Let me just take a look back so we can put it in the correct context. The Black Panther Party hiding the contradiction. It was flipped the script when the FBI is documented. It's a book called Up on Madison, Down on 79th Street by John L. Rice. When the FBI told the Vice Lord, they'd get on 16th Street if the Black Panther Party could not open a free medical center on 16th Street. Chairman Fred warned them cats at certain points from guilty to the fact they ended up working at the free medical center. Hiding the concept with the devil's disciples get up public and say, we now change our name to be known as the Black Disciples due to the political activity we see in Chairman Fred Black in the party. And even at the federal government's own, you see the Blackstone Rangers, the Black Keystone Nation, it was a different dynamic. The federal government said even the Black Panther Party was on the scene, there was a record law they called black on black crime. That's the politics that we relate to. So we dare not negate it to know. We talk like when we brought this proposition to them people that was in the Black Panther Party, about the house and shit, man, in fact, our matching with the Hampton House is bigger than the building, more significant than the structure. We first got to the Hampton House, they try to salt earth, try to turn into a dope house. It's documented. We clean, we ain't cut no clothes with none of them. They had family members. We put 2 suitcases up there. This is what that's for. I said, y'all, cause we understand the significance of that location. That building been flooding, water on the basement, ceiling falling in. But we said, indeed, this shit, man. The political significance of this place, we got to maintain it. It's a war tactic. When Napoleon came through and shut that speaker on the nose, it was a secret tactic. I got ideological difference with Dr. King. However, when you read that article about a year ago that the government had to took the house of Dr. King in Atlanta, that's a statement to all them resources, all them money them rich Negroes get up there, that they take the house of Dr. King. This is, you see, we look at things subjectively, whether it be property, I be talking just the land. They talk about land negated other politics. Even sexuality. See, we look at that subjectively. Oh, this rapper like that rapper. Man, you don't be on these arranged weddings, strategic moves, conquering tactics. When Rome said go take over country, you go through. It wasn't about that who they like you physically. Political maneuver. And we got to understand everything is political. They ain't even no plantation politics. Words turns fashion. They got our community so reactionary. We'll be talking about, well, look how Obama dressed. Look how smooth you are. You don't see white folks talking about how Trump looks. They talk concrete policy. And what's politics? Food, clothes, and shelter. How it's distributed, how you did it, how you received it. And who gets it. Everything political. I don't know if we're looking on time since we want to bring our guests in. I'm excuse me, our callers in too.
All right. So I'm also going to open 407-308.
Let me ask you a question.
818.
I got a question for you, Chairman. Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
How do you contrast the reaction that you're seeing from the authorities in Chicago to this I don't want to use the term unrest, just a unruly little gang of ratchet cupcakes getting out of hand as to what they would have done 50 years ago if people had been doing the same kind of thing. They would have really called out the cavalry to go jack some folk up. Nowadays, they're acting with so much restraint, letting them burn stuff up, hardly arresting anybody, letting them right out on bail to go do it again, and nobody's getting beaten, jacked up, or done in. Contrast to the response today in Chicago to what it used to be.
Well, let me premise with this. We got to acknowledge that just because the news don't report it don't mean it ain't happening. It's like the Chicago there was a discussion about what they call the black sites. Now people talk about the black sites when black sites really is one of them is built on the Homeland Square police. You know what I'm saying? Underground police station where the police admit that they adhere to no police protocol. Take you in, they got ski masks on, badges. They acknowledged it when the white individual was taken there. Now mind you, it's been going on. In 1996, former U.S. Attorney for Northern District Jim Burns, they implemented Operation Headache. They did these sweeps on the GDs, formerly Gangs of Cyber, then they became Global Development. There are sections of them who have never been seen again. So these contradictions have been happening. But what happened, so it's kind of like Richard Pryor said, white people who ride through the black neighborhoods see people shooting dope in their arms and say, that's a shame. They'll come home and their son got a can of Budweiser and say, oh my God, it's an epidemic. So and that's one of the criticism that Chairman Fred had raised during the Democratic Convention in 1968 about the white left. You say y'all will get involved and engage in some coastal-rich anarchistic actions that will bring down heat on the black community and here on the project. So I think it's important that we set the narrative just because the news ain't reporting it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people talking about, I think the police, this is just happening because social media. No, I'll be on scenes. I'll be at protest and on 56 Aberdeen the other day, last week. And the news they had the news corral in a corner, and they called the police. This is true report. People seeing what I went live on. They said, "Man, when was that?" I said the same situation. So I want to premise with that. Two, I think it's important also that we talk about whatever contradiction we're talking about. Whether we're talking about the uprisings, we're talking about the crime in Chicago, we're talking about revolutionary organizations. That nothing comes into our community, whether it be chitlins or crack, that's not contaminated by this system. They didn't get their hand on it. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing in Chicago, Chirac, ain't no dope, ain't nothing in this city that the cartel ain't got their cut on. That's a fact. So there are certain dynamics that are organic, and then you know what I'm saying, you have that's in hand. So a lot of these individuals are created, are put into our communities. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we have. So be like, man, like in the community, like why Nicky Barnes never got locked up in New York? Oh man, the police don't know where he is. He was on the payroll for Rudolph Giuliani all the time. A lot of these organizations, they didn't infiltrate. They didn't sell out. The word sell out is one of the most overused terms in the black community. Why do I say that? It be individuals who told you through the dope, through their actions or their non-actions, lack of actions, what they was on. A lot of times we come in with a foregone conclusion. Oh man, this person gonna do such a. They didn't even say they're gonna do nothing. Obama never said nothing. Katie Couric interviewing him. He told you, man, I'm Democratic first, man. No, he don't mean that. You gotta wait till the next term. He gonna speak in cold words. If you go to the pet store, they tell you, listen, man, we ain't got no more dogs, man. All we got is goldfish. You say, man, I got my heart set on about some dogs, man. They said, sir, we don't have no dog. All we got is goldfish. But if you're so subjective, you get the go. You say, well, okay, I get that. Get the goldfish. You come home, you throw a leash on it, you feeding the goldfish puppy child, and you say, man, I can't. This dog, this ain't nothing. This is sold out. It ain't barking. It ain't defending my house. That is on you. These. So we have to come in with a correct preface. That's in a relationship. Somebody come talk to you, say, oh, this is a one-night stand. This one, okay, that's what it is. Now you get going back and wedding rings on it. You have to question yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that these individuals they put in our community. See, gentrification, land grab. These are war tactics. You destabilize the community. One of America's policies is to create chaos and restore order. They got groups out here that you think protesting. People don't know the people from a can of paint. Don't know them from a can of paint. Once you destabilize the structure, see one thing about you think Chicago was the last place that the government brought crack in by coincidence? They had to kill Fluky Stokes and lock up Chief Malik. Stabilize the structure. It opens the door for different moves. Our communities, they got these young cats. They go pick out these they like in a jungle. They send the poachers in, kill a mama, the daddy mama gorillas. Then the baby gorilla be so traumatized. The first thing she don't see the baby don't see no breast milk from the gorilla. They got that white hand putting that powdered milk in them, and they think that that's they safe. They forgot just the poacher. So our communities, they come through. They strung our families out. They locked us up, killed. Then they come through, throw them in these foster homes. You know what I'm saying? These orphanages. And they come through, and they get through with that. You know what I'm saying? They like the police doing. I'm gonna tell you something, Judge. I'm gonna tell you something. I never forget this one time. I never get this. You heard? I don't know if you heard former Lieutenant of Chicago Police John Bird. Judge, you heard John Bird?
Yes, I have.
John Bird, but I know you know what I'm saying. I know you have to him, but just for the benefit of those who are not familiar with, commander Area 2 violent crime. He was now not people making like he's a bad torture person. He's a bad individual. He was part of a machine. He really got down when Daley was the state's attorney. Daley Jr. state's attorney. He was equipped with a special elite sort of team. Including that team, he had Joe Machine Gun Gorman, who got his nickname, got his moniker from the role he played December 4, 1969, the assassination of Chairman Freddie Prince at the Mark Clark. Now, John Bird, he was trained. He's homegrown. He's a Fort Benning, Georgia. All the electric box, all the type of tactics he would do. He was trained, and he took him across seas. He was getting down over in the U.S. They would acknowledge it. This is, oh man, he is a bad police. Matter of fact, my brother on the line right now. He remember I had to go. I love him, but no, I said, listen, man, don't get saying this dude is no bad. This ain't no Bonnie fight. This ain't no Mayberry. This is a war. Ain't no war on drugs, no war on guns, no war on gang. It's a war on our people. And when them different, you had these different rappers dropping the garbage on us. That ain't no bad rappers. That's propaganda bombs. We have to start recognizing war terms. So John Burge, we at court one time. That mind you, John Burge didn't get charged with torture. He didn't get charged with torture. He got charged for lying to the feds. So basically, they say, listen, your crime ain't electroshocking black folks on their private parts. Your crime is you lied to white folks. So when he in court, the lawyer he got, the same lawyer he had, the same lawyer, the one defending the police, James Van Dyke, on one shot Laquan McDonald over 15, 16 times. So we sitting in court downtown the federal building. Now, imagine I've been banned from the court, so I finally, they give me back up on the phone there, so I'm back in the court. We're in the courtroom. I never forget this. The dude, one guy who was tortured. Now you, John Burge had a whole list of guys, people, women and men. Now, I'm not going to say he didn't torture women because I don't know about them. See, humbleness, we have to acknowledge it, man. I know it's stuff I know I'm not hip to. But we in court, and so the guy is describing how John Burge tortured him. He break it down how he put the typewriter bag over his head, put the electric shock on his sex organs, all that. So the John Burge lawyer come up there. He say, "Hey, tell us again what happened to you." So dude say it again. It wasn't a dry eye in the courtroom. Everybody in there, their eyes waved, they messed. I mean, man, everybody messed up. Everybody twisted. So he looks over there. He say, "Tell the courtroom your first phone call that you made when you got on bond." So he looked toward me. So everybody look at me. So we think he's gonna bust out some cold-blooded, some Columbo evidence, like you dude got out, he was protesting with me. So I'm trying. I don't remember this dude. He told me what's happening. So the guy mumbled something on the stand. He said, "Repeat again to the court. What was your first phone call that you made after you got out from being tortured by John Burge?" Man, this dude said his first phone call when he got to being tortured, he called Lieutenant Burge and asked him could he get his tools out the car for him. Now listen. They call the police. The dynamics of our community, man. They pick up certain forces. Politics like real estate, time and location. How they assassinated Chairman Fred, the President of Mark Clark. How they assassinated Mr. Prince Bunchy Carter, Mr. John Huggins. Strategic strikes. Who they raised up? Who houses got raided? January 17, 1969. Not just what happened on UCLA campus. What with the aftermath? The whole process of, see, there's a difference between a war and a revolution. A war is two occupying armies, suit up and boot up and get out and get out. A revolution, you gain the minds of participation of the masses of the people. A lot of places are so reactionary. All they see is the gun. All they see is no. Who they raise up? Who didn't get attacked? Who got attacked? When they get attacked? And it sticks to your mind, and that's it puts a mark in your heart and staying in your brain.
You're telling it like it is.
Go ahead.
You're telling it like it is.
We're humbled up.
Go ahead, let me say something before everybody else jumps in. If you study these things, there is a formula that has been applicable to successful movements and revolution for years and years and years. And a lot of these people who are new to it have all of these enthusiasms and have all of these rumors, myths, and beliefs that they adhere to, and they don't study the process. They need to study the process so they don't repeat the mistakes. Thank you for giving us some of the process.
Right on, Judge. Also, I mean, I'll respectfully add this to it too, because this cat actually joined our organization one time. I see this might not be cut from your cloth. But this like, what I'm saying? Now the cats just sit on there and do a whole bunch of what Chairman Fred called intellectual masturbation. It's not, the deal is we weigh theory and practice. In order to come out with you a club, you're gonna hit that concrete. You're gonna have to interact with the people. A lot of cats they do study like even with the music. They hit us with the good cop, bad cop tactic. They, on one hand, they gave us a bunch of reactionary rappers who used so much misogynistic terms that we thought nigga and B was our first name. Then on the other hand, they hit us with these abstract conscious artists who can't connect to our community. You know what I'm saying? Who's so detached. You know what I'm saying? Who cats can't relate to. The deal is, we have to weigh it theory and practice. It's like some of these cats, they be like they're all they do is reading. It'd be like a shadow boxer. You know, you go say, man, who was that? Oh, that's shadow boxer. So he a champ. Who he fought? Now he be in the ring. You know, he be sweaty, come out there. But who is he? He's a shadow boxer. See, you asked me, Judge Brown, at the beginning. You asked me, said, man, where you get the title chairman from? I told you, brother, this here. This ain't no Egyptian dynasty or nothing. I've been held accountable. I ain't Chairman Fred. You gotta look like him and talk like him. I'm held accountable. They say, okay, we're gonna see what you're gonna do when you go to take you to the max penitentiary. We're gonna see you in Supermax. We're gonna see when you guys organize the songs, the cypher, the vice lord. We're gonna see the police, they come at their heat on you. Contested conditions. A lot of cats think, I told one of these conscious rappers one time, I say, why do you think when they first get y'all first stop is in Germany somewhere? He said, why do you think that, Chairman? I said, you the blackest thing over there. Why do you think when you watch 48 Hours, the police take you to a room? They don't ask you no questions out there in the community. Isolate you. So you isolate them. You under no contested conditions. Like different organizations, you know what I'm saying? They subscribe to, oh man, who said, oh, it's one of the elders. Our politics don't go just for that. Just because you older, you know it. Man, do this here. I tell you, I don't play no long distance poker. That's what you mean. You have to put skin in the game. You're not going to be calling, hey, man, who was that? Oh, that's such and such, you know, they got 5,000 hits on YouTube. Man, you missed me with that. We got scars and bars in this here. You got to put skin in the game with this here. One time, some cats went to the coalition with us. Paul, my guys, like my Plan B guys sometimes. Paul tell the dude, he say, hey, man, D, man, you talking all this stuff, man. We them guys in the plantation, they transfer you from another plantation. You got to pull your shirt up so we see your back. See if you got some rips on your back.
All right, guys. So that officially wraps the first edit. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, family, for listening. I love you to life. Speaking of love and support, please make sure that you drop down in the description box and show some love and support to Chairman Fred Hampton Jr.